afternoon and welcome everybody to Zephyr416Live. I'm your host for this afternoon, Dan Carter, and here we are live in Chapman Town, live streaming on our YouTube channel and broadcasting live on FM 90.1 KZFR, and you can get us on kzfr.org if you are so inclined. We have a very special show ready for you today, and we're all in good preparation. And our first guest is going to be Gordy, and our second guest is going to be Mapa Jeff, and we've got just lots of good stuff. So Gordy, tell us what you're going to do today.
Okay, I'm going to do a little old time music. Well, the fig foot those by law protected, our liberty's glorious feast. Horse for cowards were erected, with please the priest. Well, with the ready song or fable, round I wander all the day, and at night in barn or stable, hug the ladies on the hay. Well, the big vote, those by law protected, our liberty's glorious feast. Courts for cowards were erected, churches built to please the priest. Well, that's a little silly ditty. It's a couple of centuries old. There was a time when that was brand new music. That was a couple of centuries ago. And I'm going to take you back there because I just love reading about how people used to live a long time ago. It's just fascinating. Not history books that somebody else has done the research, chewed on it, and spit it out the back end, but I like to read the words of people that lived at the time. I like to read old newspapers and books and diaries. People that lived back in the 1800s. And I'm going to share a couple of things that I found out by this one fella by the name of John Bidwell. Now, he wrote a diary. Actually, I should start out at the very beginning. Like in 1819, that's when he was born. Back in New York, he wanted to be real close to his mom, so they all lived together there. And that was in 1819 in the North Chautauqua County of New York. And things didn't quite always go right for that Bidwell family. Like Abram, his father, he never got a farm that really produced. And he tried this and he tried that, and they ended up moving to Ohio looking for better land, and things never quite worked out for him. And John was noticing that because he's doing all the free labor there at the house. And Abram and his wife decided that they couldn't even keep all the children fed. So what they did is they indentured them out to other families. Well, that was something that was done a lot in those days. What that is to be an indentured servant, you'd write down, make a deal. Say, my daughter's gonna work for you, and you don't have to pay her, but you have to give her room and board, and some new clothes once a year, probably either Christmas or New Year's. And what they did is they would write out an agreement saying, how many years are you going to be indentured? 3 years. How about 7 years? I don't really want my children to come back here. Now, the Bidwell, they had 7 kids in the family. So they write down an agreement that I'm going to work for you for 3 years, and then you both sign it. And how you going to know how many years? Was it 3 years or was it 7 years? Well, you write it on down, and everybody puts their name on there. And they dig out a couple of holes in the side of the agreement. So when 3 years comes up. He said, "Oh no, your time isn't up on 3 years. You're indentured to me for 7 years." Oh well, I got the proof. I got those little pieces of paper that go in there in these indents. That's an indentured servant. Well, John, he could see the way things are going here. I didn't really want to be work for somebody else. I want to have myself a farm. I, John Bidwell, want a farm of my very own. I do like this home cooking, but one day when he was 19, he got together a couple things and left the house. Went past the garden gate, on out to the big road, and he left home at 19. And so he made it out the road, ended up on the edges of the Missouri River. He had a long way to go. Missouri's quite a way, and he just walked the edge of the Missouri River from sunrise to sunset. From sunrise to sunset. Oh, the needle's eye, the dove's supply, thread that runs so true. Many a boat and I let go because I wanted you. And he noticed that there were some fellas had noticed him out there on a boat. And I said, "Well, come on over, kid. Jump on board. We're going south, or we're going downstream." I said, "Well, that's good because the stream's going that way too, and I guess I am too." And they made him all the way down the river there. John, he was an industrious fellow. He built himself a cabin, 12 feet by 16. Wasn't fancy, but it was a place to live. And this was out there in Ohio, and didn't really want to work for anyone else, but he noticed that he had a talent other people didn't have. And he could read. He could write. So instead of being a farmer, he taught people how to read. And it worked out pretty good. Pretty soon he was, I'm going to get more supplies, get more books and things like that. I'll get some farm supplies, but I'm going to ride on down to St. Louis. And so that's what he did. Went down to St. Louis, and he came back, took him about 2.5 weeks. When he got back home, some other fellow was moved into his house, and he was living there. And that fellow wasn't going to leave. John said, "Well, if you're not going to leave, then I'm going to leave." Besides, the valley was getting all clogged up with people. All right. At night, you could see a candle 2 miles away and another candle 2 miles away. I'm surrounded by people. That's enough of this. And he heard that there were big doings going on in the United States at this time. Since he read things, he read the newspapers. There was a lot of articles in the newspapers written by this man named Marsh, and he was living out in the wilds, the wild territory that wasn't a state, wasn't any. It was just completely different. It was on the other side of the continent. Mr. Marsh was writing about California, and if you want to have a good life, come to California, because that's where Mr. Marsh was. Oh, there was unending sunshine and good people. It was that land actually belonged. Nevada and California belonged to the Mexican government, but they really didn't want much to do with it. Anywhere north of the Tehachapi's, the grapevine. Nah, Los Californios, they were kind of wild people. They didn't do things like Mexicans. They had their own way. Los Californios, the women wore their hair down, maybe a red ribbon. They had parties that lasted 3 and 4 and 5 days. Big fandangos. You didn't even have to own a horse, because in California there was horses everywhere with a 30-foot rein on them. And you just walk up to there and get a hold of the rein and pull in the horse and ride them to wherever you want to go, and then just let them go. So there was wild horses ready to ride you anywhere. Well, that sounds pretty good. So people were getting all excited about going to California. John Bidwell said, "Well, I want to do that too. Except there wasn't any roads going out that way. Everything stopped in the prairies. No one had been out to that other part of the continent except Lewis and Clark in '05 and '06. And there was a traveling family that would go around from village to village in the Ohio, along the big rivers, and they would sing, "Of all the mighty nations of the east and of the west, the great Yankee nation is the finest and the best. We have room for all creation. Our banner is unfurled. Here's a general invitation to the people of the world. Now come along, come along. We'll make no delay. Come from every nation, come from every way. Our lands, they are broad enough, they do not be alarmed. For Uncle Sam, he's rich enough to give us all a farm. Yes, Uncle Sam, he's rich enough to give us all a farm. Well, the West shall grow the timber, and the South the beef and pork, while the Eastern manufactories do up the finer work. The clean and tumbling waters are cooling through our hills, are just the thing for washing sheep and running cotton mills. So come along, we'll make no delay. Come from every nation, come from every way. Our lands, they are broad enough, now do not be alarmed. For Uncle Sam, he's rich enough to give us all a farm. Yes, Uncle Sam, he's rich enough to give all a farm. Huzzah, citizens! And so there's a great conglomeration of people all over the United States, even people from Canada and Scotland and France. They were all coming out to find this new land that really had no name. And there was no way to get there except walking. So what happened is here people are getting together out of St. Joseph, St. Joe, and on the big river. So we got on a river boat, made it all the way down there. Fancy river boats. When he got off, by God, St. Joe, he never been to a city like this. There was houses built on top of other houses. No, really. There'd be 3 and 4 houses, but just right on top of each other. And the ladies, oh my gosh sakes. By this time, John, he's 21 years old, and he heard that there people are meeting in the meadow north of town, and they're all going to gather together and going out to California. So he made it on out there, and sure enough, he met a fellow named Mr. Bartleson. Now, Mr. Bartleson was no grand catch. He was just kind of an average guy. Looked like somebody had spilled a seed packet of freckles on his face, and when he stood there and talked to him, he was thin. He was like built like a thermometer. He was a thin little guy, and if you turned sideways, well, then he just disappeared all the way. And Bartleson said, I'm going to camp here for a while, and then on May 1st, we're all just going to head on out. We're going to make ourselves a little train of wagons. And we don't want any slackers on this, so you go back to town and get some supplies. Because everybody that was in on this, you have to be self-sufficient. And everyone they had to go back there and get, in town you'd get 30 pounds of coffee, 30-pound sack of sugar, a 50-pound sack of flour, and another 50-pound sack of beans. And you had to have a rifle. And then we'd all gather together and go on to California. Well, you know how hard it is to get people together and just to go and get dinner. But so they waited for the first couple of days, and nobody was showing up. It was just John Bidwell and Bartleson. And they waited another week, and 2 or 3 people showed up. And then finally, on May 19th, 1841, they took off to California, across the prairies. Now remember, they didn't have a road, they didn't have a trail. There was no map. They just saw where the sun was going down, and that's where we're going to go when we wake up tomorrow. We're going to follow that sun. And they did this day after day, day after day. They made about 15 miles a day because it was good flat land out there in the prairies. Then they decided the best way to do this would be to follow the rivers, kind of like Lewis and Clark did. So they edged not only to the west, but went on up right hand went on up to the northwest, and they followed the Platte River. Platte's a big river. It's not really deep or nothing like that. It's a really wide river, about that tall. And they found out real quick that it's kind of not the greatest tasting river. They figured they could get across just by fording it. The first wagon that went over, well, when the fella got to the other side, the water had gone up above his wagon and it melted all his sugar. So that was his donation to the Platte. Oh, by the way, you could get a wagon back in those days in 1841. That'd cost you about $86 for one of those wagons. And if you didn't have that much kind of money, well, then you could get a cart. They called it a Red River cart. It's like half a wagon. It's got 2 wheels on it, and you'd only need 1 horse or 1 oxen for that. That was $46 for one of those. And when they followed the Platte, north, west, till they got to the Sweetwater. Ah, yeah, the Sweetwater. Going through the Rocky Mountains. And they made it through there. So, I forgot to mention, there was like 61 people on this trip. They all had their victuals. They all had a rifle. And John was pretty excited because he got a brand new shirt for $3. And, oh yeah, and he got a brand new hat for 78 cents. Back in those days, in 1841, they were all hand sewn because Mr. Singer hadn't invented the sewing machine yet. So every shirt you got was hand sewn by some lady with little 1/8 inch stitches. There we go. So it only took them about 10 days, and they figured some of these people I don't like them, and some of these people I do like them. They decided to break up into 2 different wagon trains. Actually, 2 1/4 wagon trains. A couple of fellows said, well, let's just going to Oregon. I don't know about this. We've heard good things about Oregon and California. So they split the train up. 31 people went to Oregon. I guess it's over there. And the other 34 went down to California. And what was it? It was 7 or 8 preachers were with them. And nobody particularly wanted to travel with them because the preachers didn't want to travel with them. Said that there was too much swearing going on, and people were fishing on Sunday. So they let the preachers go off on their own. They split back. So what we got now is 34 people with that California fever. And they went through the hardest part. Now they've been walking since May and June and in July. That's a lot of walking. 15 miles a day, 3 miles an hour, that's what it is. So when you go out in the parking lot, you're walking 3 miles an hour to your car. And they found out that there's this big desert, the Nevada desert. And they couldn't ignore it. They had to get through it to the other side. There's this famous north part of Nevada. It's alkali country, and even if you find water, you can't drink it. And it's 40 miles of alkali country. And they found that the only way they could do this and pull it off they couldn't walk during the heat of the day. So they'd sleep under the wagons in that tiny bit of shade all during the day. Then they'd walk at night. And they made it through. Some wagons broke down. Some horses didn't make it. Well, you just have a barbecue. And they followed the mountain range there, the Nevadas, the Cascades. They're looking, how are we going to get across there? Because I hear California's on the other side of that mountain. Looking for a pass. Well, I couldn't find nothing good there. Went on down what we call Reno now. Out in the desert, looking up there at that mountain. How are we going to get over there? And they went past what Virginia City we called. Down to what you look on the map is called Walker Lake and Walker Pass. Well, I guess we'll go up that way and see if we can get to California that way. And sure enough, they got up to the tip top of all that high granite country, and they realized they had really gotten themselves into a pickle. This was September, you see, and by September 16th, all the wagons had been broken. And some of the Paiute were coming in at night and taking their horses to eat them. So here we are, with just a couple of items, carrying them. There's no turning around going back to St. Joe. They had to keep on going, and one day they noticed that the water was going the other way. They were over their divide. The water was going to the west. And so they kept walking and kept walking. And they go down the hills, down into the big valley. And then the cliffs would come in and the granite, and there's no path, and it just can't go any farther. And they'd have to turn around, walk back to the east, to the tip top of the mountain, so they could jump the creek and then walk down that way. Oh, got stuck on a cliff, and they have to walk all the way back up to the shares. And they did this big zigzag there for a couple of weeks. About this time, we're into September, and they've been walking for quite a number of months. They've become quite a little family, you see. Now, to have a family or a city, for that matter, you have to have life and death. That cements it. And there's a story of Mr. Shotwell. He got spooked one night, and he was reaching into his wagon to get out his rifle. Poof! Shot himself. So that was the only death on the whole trip. I thought that's interesting, and his name is Shotwell. And then there was Nancy. Nancy Kelsey gave birth to her child. And she carried that child on her hip to California. 6 months of carrying a baby. So, I should read. This is a good one. When I was reading Bidwell's diary, he actually wrote it down. This is fascinating. You can get his writings in the local library. But everything changed in October. They've been walking for 6 months. And here it is from John Bidwell's diary. The first day they saw the Big Valley. October 31st, 1841. We had gone about 3 miles this morning when to our great delight, we beheld a wide, wide valley. Hundreds of antelopes in view, elk, thousands, a multitude of waterfowl. The valley of this river was very fertile, and young tender grass covered it like a field of wheat in May. Not a weed was to be seen. The land was mellow and as free from weeds as if it had been plowed 20 times. Now those are the thoughts of a farmer. That's what he saw. He saw that great vinyl loam out there and all the water in California, and not many people to mess it up. So they walked 4 more days to get across the valley. I heard tell where Mr. Marsh was living, the fella that had written all those articles in the newspapers. And they knocked on his door and went in. And Mr. Marsh said, well, you can stay here as long as you like. Now you're a Californian. John Well, he didn't want to just sit around somebody else's house, and he followed the San Joaquin north to the, or snipped into Sacramento River, because there was a fellow there, John Sutter. He had a nice spread, and so John got some work with him doing odd jobs, and one of the odd jobs he got was riding his horse over to the coast to Fort Ross. You see, the Russians have been going along the edge of California. They're thinking, well, maybe we'll just take this place, be part of Russia. The French were coming up, the Spanish, and everybody had their eye on it. And but the Russians, they kind of gave up about it's a long way from Russia. So they gave up on Fort Ross. And one of the first jobs Bidwell had was to ride on over there, see if they'd left any hinges or any pots and pans or anything made out of metal, because metal was really, really scarce. So he still hadn't gotten any land here. And he looked into it, and the only way that you can get land in California was a Spanish land grant. Like I said, Mexico and Spain, they weren't all excited about this because California was in the middle of nowhere. And so in 1844, John rode down to Monterey and took out the papers and raised his hand and became a citizen of Mexico, so he could get a Spanish land grant. And that was south of here. If you go on the road outside of Yuba City on the way to Sacramento, there's a plaque out there, and that was Bidwell's first rancho. And it had a lot of good things about it. It had water, had good soil, but it had some things he didn't like a lot. That was mosquitoes. Too many mosquitoes. And one day he woke up, he looked out the window, and he seemed to have less horses than he did yesterday. A couple of fellas had come by in the night and took off with 10 of his horses. God dang. So he saddled up and started chasing these horse thieves, and they went north in the valley. They were going to take these horses back to Oregon. Come on, you guys. So he was following these horse thieves, and he camped out on this beautiful piece of land, very fertile, with a beautiful creek and little cliffs, a beautiful arroyo. When he finally dealt with those horse thieves, he went back to Monterey, said, I don't want that rancho that you gave me there with all those mosquitoes. Why don't we just trade it out on this other piece of land farther north here? Oh, I mean, Rancho Arroyo Chico? The small ranch, the small canyon. Arroyo Grande is down south, but this was Arroyo Chico. So he pulled in there, and he got a nice piece of land. Built himself an adobe house. Getting kind of lonely around here, living out here by myself. So he went out his front gate, where it crossed this little Chico Creek, got out a stick, and made a line in the soil. All right. This will be the beginning of our town. This will be First Street right there. Second Street right there, and on and on. If anybody wants to come out here, I'll give you land. You can build yourself a house. We'll build a little town, and I'll be on that side of the stick. He'd be on the other side. And when you're building a town, the first thing you do is you have a blacksmith, and we have a mill to grind the flour, and a store. So Bidwell built a store, and you can still see that, what's left of it, Tres Hombres restaurant, that wall, this right north face wall, that's the original store, the first building in Chico. So, as it turned out, he got his farm. His dream came true. Yeah, John Bidwell had one of the largest farms in all of California, and was quite successful and quite happy about it. So, that's a little story about our town. Thanks, John, otherwise I wouldn't be here. And tell your kids little stories, because there's a lot of stories around us. Thank you for your time, folks.
Where do you think you could do another tune? Just a
I don't know if I know anymore. Joseph Aloysius Orange Blossom. I'm here just to make you smile. With the ladies, always play the possum. I'm here for a sing and dance a while. Oh no, ain't it so? I'm the happiest fella in the land. I'm Joseph Aloysius Orange Blossom. I'm a hunky-dory fella, I am. Well, the fella is gone on to fishing, and the missus she's gone to town. Where they left me here to tend the garden. I'm just lying around. Oh no, ain't it so? I'm the happiest fella in the land. I'm Joseph Aloysius Orange Blossom. I'm a hunky-dory fella, I am. President in the White House, he'd do anything he wanted to. Passed a bill and he outlawed breakfast, banned the boot and he nullified the shoe. No, ain't it so? I'm the happiest fella in the land. I'm Joseph Aloysius Orange Blossom. I'm a hunky-dory fella, I am. I love to go to Sunday meeting. I love to hear the preacher sing. But the preacher loves the children. Then why don't he sell his ring? Oh no, ain't it so? I'm the happiest fella in the land. I'm Joseph Aloysius Orange Blossom. I'm a hunky-dory fella, I am. Oh no, ain't it so? I'm the happiest fella in the land. I'm Joseph Aloysius Orange Blossom. I'm a hunky-dory fella, I am. I'm a hunky-dory fella, I am. That's a minstrel show, too, from the 1840s. Thank you very much.
Gordy Olger, everybody. Gordy, great stories. No finer storyteller than you are, my friend. Thanks for coming on live stream TV.
Well, thank you very much.
With us this afternoon. We do appreciate it. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Dan.
Hey, we're going to go to a short commercial break, but before, not a commercial break, an underwriter break. But before we do that, I want to remind you that Chico Concerts is presenting an evening with Greg Loicano. That's going to be Friday, August 13th. That's next Friday at the Chico Women's Club. Tickets for the outdoor show are available at eventbrite.com. Greg Loicano of the Mother Hips next Friday at the Chico Women's Club. And right now, here's the voiceover with Megan Hammer with our underwriters.
Studio 416 is made possible by the generous contributions of KZFR supporters and by Bruce Jenkins Insurance, a retirement advisor offering Medicare assistance, including prescription drug and supplement plans, Social Security maximization, retirement income planning, and life insurance. You can reach Bruce Jenkins Insurance at 530-781-3592 or visit brucejenkinsinsurance.com, and by Pearl Consulting, offering digital branding and marketing to attract and connect with your ideal client. From websites and logos to social media, owner Sarah Fontaine provides comprehensive branding solutions for your online presence to bring you the business you're looking for. Visit pearlconsulting.tech or call 530-588-7505 to get started. And by Peterson Tree Care, because trees need care. John Peterson continues his family tradition of caring for Chico's amazing natural resource. Licensed, bonded, and insured, With financing available, Peterson Tree Care handles residential and commercial properties and can be reached at 530-518-0924. Up next on KZFR is Swing City, followed by RJ's Vinyl Mix.
The sun is back, Butte County is opening up, and everybody's getting ready to go outside and start commencing. Are you? If your business or organization would like to reach the thousands of loyal KCFR listeners about your goods and services and upcoming events, contact me, Ray Lager, Underwriting Director here at KCFR. As we emerge from the funk of 2020, many businesses are preparing for an uptick. And to ensure your message is heard, contact me today by phone or text at 530-520-4742 or at underwrite@kzfr.org. Space is limited, so don't delay. For phone or text, 530-520-4742 or by email at underwrite@kzfr.org. Let's get outside, have some fun, and let's get busy.
Studio 416 is made possible by the generous contributions of KZFR supporters and by ChicoCallCenter.com, employing locally since 1999. Chico Call Center is rapidly expanding and is now hiring new employees for their Nord Avenue location. Chico Call Center works with over 200 newspapers nationwide, renewing customer subscriptions. Compensation packages include hourly, commission, and nightly cash payouts. More information by visiting ChicoCallCenter.com. And by Ollie, the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute at Chico State. From finance to physics, Russian art to rose gardening, social justice to Shakespeare, Ollie online classes offer something for just about everyone. To sign up, visit olli.csuchico.edu or call 898-6679. Live anywhere and learn with Ollie. And by Chico Summerfest on Saturday, August 21st at Patrick Ranch. Events include Journey's Edge, a Journey tribute band, a License to Chill, honoring the music of Jimmy Buffett, and Off the Record. There will also be a beer, wine, and margarita garden, kids zone, food trucks, and more. Details and tickets at chicosummerfest.com. Sponsored by T-Mobile and the Melton Design Group. If you enjoy this program, you can now go to kzfr.org and tip this show. This is FM 90.1 KZFR Chico, listener-supported community radio for the Sacramento Valley, the foothills, and beyond.
We hope that you can support our underwriters, and welcome once again to Zephyr416 Live, right here coming to you from the heart of Chapmantown. We're streaming live on YouTube at kzfr.org, and we are broadcasting live on FM 90.1 KZFR Chico, and also at kzfr.org. So now that we have you all oriented, we can continue with the show. And here's a fella that I've had on the show a few times, and one time we even tried to do something like this with a lot less help, and it didn't turn out so well. So I asked Jeff if he'd come back on and give us a make good. And so right now, without further ado, here's Mapa Jeff, and he's a map artist and a musician. And Jeff, what are you going to do for us today?
My aim is to just take whatever slivers of hope and gladness are in the air and just stomp all over them like it's a pigweed. I want to make sure that happiness is not possible today, because we know what's going on, right? You know what's going on.
It sounds like community radio.
Yeah, that's definitely the idea. So,
Mapa Jeff.
I have a whole bunch of original tunes here. one's called You Know You're Being Screwed. The moment I wake up, I cue up my YouTube shake-up. I find out who's been screwing me. While having my coffee, a troll on my feed converts me. I find out who's been screwing me. Forever, forever, it's been going on and no one knows it. They're all lizard people, control everything, they're gonna blow it. They have us enthralled to a plan they arranged that, oh, there is one, it makes sure we'll never be free. I know that they're out there, the people who choose my sportswear. I find out who's been screwing me. Up in my 150, the radio makes me angry. I find out who's been screwing me. Forever, forever, it's been going on. They never leave it. They are all so evil. I don't know their names, but I believe it. The planet so big that it can't be found out. It's gone on so long, the people will never wake up. My darling, believe me, George Soros pays black folks to be angry. I saw it on TV. You gotta trust me. You're being screwed. I saw it on TV. Ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba. It's all a big conspiracy. Yeah. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Absolute evil, you and me. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-da. It's a big conspiracy. All they tell you is true and more, folks. I know it hurts, but I know you need the truth today. The truth above all. So I'm going to keep going. I got more songs that Burt Bacharach wrote here. This one reminds me of Chapman Town in particular. If you see some free stuff on the street, assert some control over your feet. Walk on by. Walk on by. Don't pretend that Target cannot be your very best friend. Cause each time you pick up some free stuff, you break out in hives. So walk on by. Walk on by. Oh, walk on by. Even your new toothbrush isn't new. You can't see the germs, but they can see you. Walk on by. Walk on by. Don't relax. The people left that stuff. You'll kiss their tracks. Don't ask yourself, where did it come from? Have a heart attack. So put it back. Put it back. Don't. You know you got enough ice cream spoons by now. Don't stop, and you need Tupperware that's shaped just like a cow. Mushrooms are growing from the junk pile in your room. And if it's underwear, don't talk to me till June. Oh, walk on by. What it is, brother. Yeah, and let's see. I got lots of time, don't I, Dan? All right. I got to bring all of Chico down as far as I can to the level where it really is at. All right? So I know you're all stoned. Here's a song for you. What do you get when you smoke a joint? A sudden attack of paranoia, and now you need a burned out lawyer. I never smoking dope again. I'm never smoking dope again. Tell me now, what do you get? What do you get when you spark a doob? Another shitty day in front of the boob tube, an old rerun that sucks and stars you. I'm never smoking dope again. I'm never smoking dope again. Now don't tell me what it's all about, 'cause I forgot what we were talking about. Maybe those canine narcs won't smell me if you'll just continue to tell me. What do you get when you cannot read? You can't even drive to 7-Eleven, and riding the bus feels like heaven. I'm never smoking dope again. I'm never smoking dope again. All lost in a state of godlike bliss. Would someone please tell me what day it is? What do you get when you're 420? A lot of ideas and very little money. Then suddenly you're a fuddy-duddy. I'm never smoking dope again. I'm never smoking dope again. Now don't tell me what it's all about, 'cause I forgot why I went out of that couch that had me sleeping. And so at least until next weekend, what do you get when you scrape the bong? A really bad cough and a nasty headache. You're on all fours looking for old shake. I'm never smoking dope again. I'm never smoking dope again. That's a lie. That song always summons deep feelings of sadness and mourning in me. So I thought I'd share it with you and really bring you down, because I know how up you all really are. Okay, let's see, what do we got now? Many things to get off my chest. You need therapy. Everybody knows you're a freak. You need therapy. Find your bliss and go hug a tree. So you blame your bad mood on the weather when you want to cry, and project all your rage at whoever is just walking by. All of the people around you seem straight. They don't have a clue. You're in a state of denial. It's not your childhood, it's really you. You need therapy. Everybody knows you're free. You need therapy. Go out for a weekend retreat. So you spend lots of time in the shower trying to get clean, working on coming into your power when you're acting mean. All your old lovers, they said the same thing, you just would not hear. It's time to go to the doctor. This is beyond your scope. You know you cannot go. You need therapy. Sign up for a weekend retreat. Jung and Freud and Stanislavski. So you just chalk it up to genetics and you take a pill. Even though you do know it's pathetic and you have no will. Frankel and Hellman and Mesmer himself can't get through to you. You're in a state of denial. Your friends don't know what to do with you. You need therapy. Sign up for a weekend retreat. You need therapy. Prozac, ayahuasca, and tea. You need therapy. I got some numbers to call up a tree. To the world. That was Channel from Sister Sledge. You know, they originally did that. It's a great disco tune. So yeah, one of the things that the good things that used to be true is that you used to always know that Oroville was worse, and that's not starting to be true anymore. They're starting to, you know, Oroville's getting hip. It's a terrible thing, and I need to write a song to try and stomp them back into place. Because if Oroville gets good, then what's that going to make us look like here in Chico? Okay. Do you know the way to Oroville? I've heard it's gone downhill. It's kind of Amity Horrorville. Do you know the way to Oroville? I may not last a day. I may go great in Oroville. Chico is so highfalutin. It's an intellectual hellhole. In a month, maybe two, you're sick of the roll. Dissertation spill over smoke bowls. In Oroville, you can be free. The police are much too busy. They've got real cheap rents in Oroville. Landlords who'd love to get tenants who aren't deplorable. I was born and raised in Oroville. I couldn't wait to split and sleep under the Bidwell Bridge. But Chico casts a great big shadow. It's a pinnacle of urban class. You pretend to like quinoa and kiss their ass. I would rather hang with nice white trash in Oroville. You keep your soul as long as you're out on parole. You know the way to Oroville. Oh, oh, you know the way to Oroville. Oh, oh, they've got a nice lake in Oroville. Oh, oh, meth heads shake and bake in Oroville. Tribute to our sister city. What else I got here? Oh, yeah. I channeled this one from Johnny Cash. He tells me all those ghost riders in the sky, once they get out of purgatory, they start voting Democrat. A man without a home was curled up at the entry door. The shopping mall was all closed up, dead shelving on the floor. When all at once a mighty sound arose him from his dreams. It was hairy and purple and extreme, as tumbleweeds did roll across the empty parking lot. He tightened up his sleeping bag till the light was just a dot. And then once more and louder did the evil voice come through. It cried out for chocolate chips and oatmeal raisin too. Cookie-I-O, cookie-I, Cookie Monster in the sky. The freeway traffic stopped and drivers stood without a word, for hunger was a sound that none of them had ever heard. And then once more the evil sound spoken into their heads, spoken through their spoken to their screens. It cried out for Mrs. Fields and made them wanna scream. Cookie-I-O, cookie-I, Cookie Monster in the sky. The homeless man did panic and he bashed the glass door in. He ran into the food court and jumped in a garbage bin. But then the voice was beside him and it spoke to him by name. Said, Joe, there's no more cookies and you're not really insane. Cookie-I-O, cookie-I, Cookie Monster in the sky. Cookie-I-O, cookie. Is it okay if I take my TV, pull it into the street, pack it with about 2 pounds of TNT, just to see what the neighbors would think of me? If I was to casually drop a grenade onto the plate of some fine dining head of state, if I showed up to work the next day, would I still get paid? Well, it looks like it's my day. My 15 minutes are on their way. Look who just pulled a new Escalade in the restaurant lot. I could put my rocket launcher in the VCR, drive out to the base and become a superstar. And what I wanna do isn't really fair, but the people on the road are all wearing that glassy stare. Is it okay if I go to Fox News with some anthrax and tools, pull 'em off the air for a week or two? Would some old Confederates become unglued? What I wanna do isn't really fair, but the people on the road are all wearing that glassy stare. But it looks like it's my day. My 15 minutes are on their way. Well, the cockles of my heart are getting warmer and warmer as this afternoon goes on. And I know we're starting to feel better, about the fire and the wars and the politics and the collapse and the poverty and the homelessness, but I want to make sure that you have the darkest Saturday afternoon possible so that you can be here with me. 'Cause I love you, all of you, really. Let's see, I got a couple more. I have lots of time, don't I, Dan? Really? 29 minutes. Left? Really? How did it come to be so much? Oh, I'm going to have to do my serious stuff then. Then you're really going to be depressed. Oh, boy. I'm not responsible. All right. Let's see, I got a few more. Oh, this is an original composition. Well, they all are. It's called I Love. Small I, capital L. Browsing and browsing, a long day of mousing and jousting with folks I don't know. Click and investing to Congress protesting and festering 'cause it's so slow. I'm getting bleary, but I'll still be cheery 'cause there's a deal from FTD. I send myself flowers and after an hour get 1,000 air miles for free. Oh, but I'm so alone. I tenderly touch my iPhone. Then I see your profile on romance.com. I right-click your JPEG and burst into song. I think that your software could boot up my hardware and make my peripheral scan. I'll unzip my driver and optical fibers will upgrade our link to broadband. Our desktops will merge for a cache-clearing purge as firewalls burst across the land. If you'll mount my C-disk and help grow my business, I'll load up your inbox with spam. Oh, but I'm still alone. No vibrations arouse my iPhone. I'll just Photoshop you and get you undressed and make my wallpaper a high-res tiff of your chest. I've made you my icon, my one-stop solution, so now we'll install memory. With you as my server, my rich source of content will rip gigs of hot MP3s. If you detect viruses, scumware, or spyware, you'll probably drag me to the trash. But if you'll give good IT and never delete me, I promise my hard drive won't crash. My love for you will never die, so I've posted you to my website. As satellite routers and text message showers and BlackBerries jingle neath cellular towers, the planet will know why I sit here inside when strangers can hot-sick their pods and Google your thighs. It's a love story. Yeah. Thank you very much. Oh, well, I do have a lot of funny songs. Here's one. It's not that they're funny, they're depressing. This one's about erectile dysfunction. No, it's about medicines for erectile. Do you think I can get it up if I take Crochaxidil? That plus a Flirtolax might get me off. You could knock your back out with Collapsiflex. And I could take a Don't Ask a Din for my cough. Maybe it's time we enroll in the Ramistad Cricks trial. Or mainline Maxi Boink with a hot syringe. You could take Volvasca, please, in the 12-ounce vial. Or come off of your Orgasmifrustrex binge. Oh, did you say that we're out of Vag-Gate? Honey, please don't you walk on out the door. Honey, don't you leave me here on the floor. But if you do, could you renew my you fuck sore? I woke up in a puddle of liquid willy free. Must have blacked out on my Nutri-Hapex gels. After all these years of extra strength erectile spleen, my tolerance for horny max went to hell. Maybe it's time we my insurance says, well, my insurance says libido ain't covered yet. But there's plenty of hella blue trend in the mail. If all else fails, there's always multi-Despervax and some leftover Bitch-a-Pro in that there pail. Oh, did you say that we're out of vag gay? Honey, please don't you go. Honey, don't you walk on out the door. Honey, don't you leave me here on the floor. But if you do, could you please renew my fuck sore? I always get in trouble for that, though. I managed to stray across the lines, and I'm sorry. And, yeah, okay. Well, I think I'm going to have to go bright and cheery now. All right? I think you're done being depressed by me. And so let's see here. What do we got? Well, I'm going to do a pretty Broadway number, and I started doing this after the campfire, and it's never stopped being appropriate. It's from West Side Story. Oh, we got an airplane going over. It's an omen. It's a sign. It's portentous. Yeah. Big old jet airliner, get out of the way of my show. Oh, big old jet airliner, 'cause Dan's mood is about to blow. Okay, here we go. There's a place for us, somewhere a place for us, peace and quiet and open air. Wait for us somewhere. There's a time for us, someday a time for us, time together with time to share, time to learn, time to care. Someday, somewhere, we'll find a new way of living. We'll find a way of forgiving. Somewhere, there's a place for us. a time and place for us. Hold my hand and we're almost there. Hold my hand and I'll take you there someday, somehow, somewhere. I can see the smiles. The crowds are getting happy. This is a Jimmy Cliff number. Sitting here in limbo, like a bird ain't got a song. Sitting here in limbo, and I know it won't be long. Well, they're putting up resistance, but I know my faith will lead me on. Sitting here in limbo, like the dice begin to roll. Sitting here in limbo, still got time to save my soul. Well, they're putting up resistance, but I know my faith will lead me on. I don't know where life will take me, but I know where I have been. I don't know what life will show me, but I know what I have seen. Tried my hand at love and friendship, that much is past and gone. This little boy is moving on. Sitting here in limbo, waiting for the tide to turn. Sitting here in limbo, still got so much I need to learn. Well, they're putting up resistance, but I know my faith will lead me on. I don't know what life will show me, but I know what I have seen. I don't know where life will take me, but I know where I've been. Tried my line at love and friendship, that much is past and gone. This little boy is moving on. Sitting here in limbo, waiting for the dice to roll. Sitting here in limbo, got some time to save my soul. Well, they're putting up resistance, but I know my faith will lead me on. Well, they're putting up resistance, but I know my faith will lead me on. It's always good when the bums applaud. Thank you, bums. You're everywhere. That wasn't about you, Dawn. You're not one of them. I trust you. Okay. Get into the warm and tender stuff, you know. Oh, everyone loves it when I do this one. This one's particularly desperate and sad, but I know it's going to lift you up. I am a lineman for the county, and I ride the main road, searching all day in the sun for another overload. I hear you singing through the wire, I can hear you through the wire, and the Wichita lineman is still on the line. I know I need a small vacation, but it don't look like rain. And if it snows, that stretch down south won't ever stand the strain. And I need you more than want you, and I want you for all time. And the Wichita lineman is still on the and I need you more than want you, and I want you for all time. And the Wichita lineman is still on the Glenn Campbell, ladies and gentlemen. I ran out of depressing songs, Dan, so now I'm singing the happy ones. All right? Okay. It just seems 8 or 10 more minutes? I could do a lot of damage in that time. Let me see here. Houses in a row, 80 people watch a TV show. Paper people, cardboard dreams, how unreal the whole thing seems. Can we be living in a world made of paper mache? Everything is clean and so neat. Everything that's wrong can be just flipped away. Spray it with cologne, and the whole world smells sweet. Ice cream cones and candy bars, things like swings and bicycles and cars. There's a sale on happiness. You buy two and it costs less. away. Spray it with cologne, and the whole world smells sweet. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Read the papers, keep aware while you're lounging in your leather chair. And if things don't look so good, just shake your head and knock on wood. Can we be living in a world made of paper mache? Everything is clean and so neat. Anything that's wrong can be just swept away. Spray it with cologne, and the whole world smells sweet. Like paper mache. That's a Burt Bacharach song I haven't ruined. I'm working on it. Okay, I know I have a tiny bit more time here. This is a very slutty song. Is that bad language for KZFR? Can we say slut, Don? Yeah, okay. This is a very slutty song that sounds even sluttier acoustic. Her hair is Harlow gold, her lips a sweet surprise. Her hands are never cold, she's got Betty Davis eyes. She'll turn her music on, it whets her appetite. She's pure as New York snow, she's got Betty Davis eyes. And she'll tease you, she'll unease you, all the better just to please you. She's precocious, and she knows just what it takes to make a pro blush. She got Greta Garbo's standoff size, she got Betty Davis eyes. She'll let you take her home, it whets her appetite. She'll lay you on her throne, she's got Betty Davis eyes. She'll take a tumble on you, roll you like you were dice, until you come up blue. She's got Betty Davis eyes. She'll expose you off your feet with the crumbs that she'll throw you. She's ferocious, and she knows just what it takes to make a pro blush. All the boys think she's a spy, she's got Betty Davis eyes. And she'll tease you, she'll unease you, all the better just to please you. She's precocious, and she knows just what it takes to make a pro blush. She's got Greta Garbo's standoff size, she got Betty Davis eyes. Dan, I'm just getting started here. I just woke up. I do? Oh, that's too bad. I didn't. Okay, all right. Gee, I thought I was out of the woods there. Okay, all right. Real fast. This one's, I'll do a fast one by Sid Barrett. And this is the last attempt I can make to make everybody as depressed as I am this weekend, okay? So good luck, everybody. You know, happiness is not a possibility right now, so just wallow, okay? Find creative ways to wallow. Grow the wallow, okay? Help the wallowing. Your wallowing friends need you, okay? Honey, love you, honey, little honey, funny Sunday morning. Love you, more funny love in the skyline, baby. Ice cream, excuse me, I seen you looking good the other evening. Oh, you dig it, had to smile just an hour or so. We in love like I think we be. It ain't a long rhyme, it took ages to think. I think I'll roll it in the water, baby. Honey, love you, honey, little honey, funny Sunday morning. Love you, more funny love in the skyline, baby. Ice cream, excuse me, I seen you looking good the other evening. Thinking you are a nice one to put a little all around is just good, I like it. Hey, 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 suppose sometime that they would be swinging along over across to me. Honey, love you, honey, little honey, funny Sunday morning. Love you, more funny love in the skyline, baby. Ice cream, excuse me, I seen you looking good the other evening. Oh, good time, rocker woman, we'll stray our pieces. Little creepy, we shine so sleepy, so whoopee, that's how you look. Honey, love you, honey, little honey, funny Sunday morning. Love you, more funny love in the skyline, baby. Ice cream, excuse me, I seen you looking good the other evening. All right, that was quick, right? All right, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mapa Jeff with his uplifting songs, with the things that are going to take you to church in the morning.
That's right. You know you better go.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Appreciate it very, very much.
Support KZFR.
Yay, yay. All right, that's going to just about do it for Zephyr416 Live. This program is produced by yours truly, directed by Bill DeBlanc. David Foos wrangled the stream. Bruce Jans, Don Slater, and Peter Ratner volunteered on camera. We're all volunteers here. Megan Hammer provided excellent studio support, and we very, very much appreciate that. Tune in on, I believe it's going to be September 3rd. We're going to do something similar to this. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up. You've got it on FM 90.1 KZFR Chico, kzfr.org. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.